My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Recently, I had to take a 7-hour flight, and we were supposed to take off at about 2 p.m. Seemed to be an ideal situation because I reached the airport a wee bit late, but check-in was done in a flash, and security and immigration in a dash. By 1 p.m., I had boarded the Airbus 330 and buckled my seatbelt. And shortly before 2 p.m., the plane started taxiing out of the parking bay, and the obligatory safety and security video started playing. I thought to myself, isn't this an ideal situation? Everything's moving clockwork. I'm going to reach in a jiffy. So the plane continued moving, but after a few minutes, we came to a halt. And then there was no news from the crew. It was only after half an hour in the same place that there was the initial silent chatter of passengers that gave way to impatient calls for an explanation. What's going on? And the babies were the first ones to yell at the top of their voices that they were fed up of the stuffy cabin. Finally, the captain's voice crackled on the PA systems. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry for the inconvenience. We've detected a small technical hitch, and the plane is going to be tugged to another place for repair. Once again, sorry for the inconvenience, but your safety comes first. All kinds of reactions. Anxiety, phone calls to loved ones, hunger, we hadn't had lunch, thirst. And I was fortunate, Jesus, you know that, because when the plane had come to a standstill, at some point I thought, okay, well, let me just open up my missal and I'm going to pray. So in all that hoo-ha, I was meditating on this text from St. Paul to Timothy. I remind you to fan into a flame the gift of God that you have received. For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather of power and love. Jesus helped me to understand that absolutely every situation I find myself in is a moment for me to fan into a flame the gifts that I have received from Him. Ideal situations, they don't exist. As I discovered on that ideal flight that was not to be. By the way, if I'm preaching, it's that I'm still alive. Our flight remained grounded for 4.5 hours while they looked for a spare part. I remind you to fan into a flame the gift of God. Every moment, every circumstance is an opportunity for me to accept that you, Jesus, have blessed me with so many gifts. And I can just think of the gift of life. I'm a child of God through baptism. I have received this gift of life. I have received the gift of this time of prayer. I have received the gift not of cowardice, but of power and love. I have received the gift of power and love to go out and evangelize, to be an apostle in a real world where ideal situations do not exist. That's why you, Jesus, in Luke chapter 11, talk about the harvest, referring to the harvest of the souls who seek you. And you talk about the laborers who need to be sent out to reap the harvest. They are few. Apostles who will help to bring souls to you, Lord. It would be easier if you just told those first disciples, the first apostles, now go out there won't be any difficulties, everything will pan out exactly as you imagine, as things should be, everything will be ideal. But in today's gospel, you say, Ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers for his harvest. Go on your way. Behold, I am sending you like lambs among wolves. Lambs among wolves. That's far from ideal. Ask the Lord of the harvest. Jesus, I ask you now, help me to fan into a flame the gifts you have given me today and now, accepting that ideal situations don't exist. Sometimes I want to fly, and there's a technical hitch. Technical problems in my own interior life, my own limitations and sins. How do I solve these technical problems? Ask the Lord of the harvest. I can't fly if I'm in a state of mortal sin. Jesus, I'm sorry. I will try to go to confession at the soonest in those situations. But now I can make an act of contrition. Jesus, have mercy on me, a sinner. And this helps me not to get stuck in my sin, but to move ahead, knowing that you love me madly, Lord. I can't fly if I repeatedly give in to bad habits. What are they? Ask the Lord of the harvest. How do I go about changing? Ask the Lord of the harvest. Jesus, teach me to say no to those things that separate me from you. Teach me to be sincere with myself. What is the one thing I need to do to cut off a bad habit, to fix the glitch so that I can fly? I can't fly unless I accept that today and now, it may not be ideal. There may be a hitch, as it happened to me on that flight that I was expecting to reach in next to no time. But there's no use complaining. Once we were grounded, the best thing that could be done was to accept and fix the problem. So help me, Jesus, not to be put off by the technical hitches that crop up. I ask you for your grace to fan into a flame the gifts you have given me, gifts that I have received so that I can fly. Because that's what you want me to do, to fly, to be happy. The Christian vocation is a vocation to fly, to be happy. St. Josemaria says, don't flutter about like a hen when you can soar to the heights of an eagle. Think about the eagles, how they soar in the skies. To be happy. Oh well, the technical hitches may take hours to be resolved, sometimes days, sometimes even months. But with your grace, Jesus, and my effort, I will fly. I will be happy. And I will reach out to others boldly with the gift of power and love that you have given me. I'm reminded of that song by R. Kelly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day, spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. Isn't it beautiful to know that today and now, in spite of the glitches in my life, in my interior life, in my work, in my studies, that's where you're waiting for me, Jesus. And if only I can discover that those problems that I face are things that I can solve. And as long as I accept that life is not going to be ideal, I can also accept your grace in the today and now. And fly and find happiness and spread that happiness. The harvest is great, the laborers are few. Lord, today I want to be a laborer in your harvest, today and now. With the grace, the gifts of your power and love, may I reach out to many people. I feel so encouraged to know that I can fly despite my shortcomings. Thank you, Jesus. Mary, my mother, walk by my side today. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.